So as you saw in the thumbnail, it returns to haunt you, my niggas. The panel system inside of 305 Days Over 2 could be potentially making a return, and instead of just saying that, oh, it may make a return, I wanted to actually go ahead and provide some type of evidence that I do think actually does hint at the return of the panel system, and I'll go more in depth over time as to why I think it will be coming. Now, I want to keep this as clear as possible, so let's go ahead and head into it. So of course, as you see in the shortcut menu, a lot of people have pointed this out, there is going to be different brackets or different sets of shortcut options for you to be able to use. Now, it do look like you'll be able to switch those on the fly, and who knows, we could be getting a particularly new system. But let's go back into a statement that Tetsuya Nomura said once before when he was asked if whether or not shot locks, one of the most popular features inside of a Kingdom Hearts side game, will be returning. He said that, of course, the side games was actually an attempt to develop new systems and see how well they would be received before they actually moved into the next numeric title of the Kingdom Hearts series. Seeing that we've made our way into Kingdom Hearts 3 and we're finally getting new news, we're getting trailers, we actually get to see how far these new features actually are making their way inside of Kingdom Hearts 3, with of course the return of shot locks seeming to be revealed inside of the D23 2016 trailer, and of course I think Flow Motion was actually announced, or actually was revealed inside of Kingdom Hearts the 2015 trailer. So of course, since we know that that's going to be happening, we also have two new features, I think thus far, or three new features we have thus far that's actually going to be added in here that I think would definitely be helped out and definitely would be fitting of the panel system's return. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the return of the exact same panel system from 305 Days Over 2. I know that one was so mixed received that of course you guys hated that we had to build up our level through the panel system, which kind of made it confusing, which kind of made it annoying when you didn't get the right type of panel setup or the right type of panel structure to actually fit inside of the panels, and it kind of was like cringeworthy how bad they actually made the level system in that game. However, everything else they did with the panel system I feel like was definitely warranted, and let me explain to you guys how this could actually work and why I definitely believe it will be returning. Now, Tetsuya Nomura made another statement talking about Keyblade transformations and how Keyblade transformations will actually work in a system of leveling up your Keyblade to the point that it can actually transform into different forms. So it'll kind of be like evolution in Pokemon. Once you get it to a certain level, it will be able to take on new forms. Now, we don't know how many forms Keyblades will be able to undertake or how they will be utilized, but I definitely think the panel system is a definite answer to what we're going to be heading to, especially when we take that previous statement into consideration into what we know now. So if we have Keyblade transformations, we can have a set up Keyblade in the panel system, and we'll be able to add on certain levels or certain mechanics or certain pieces to that Keyblade to be able to transform it, or we'll be able to get like certain recipes and develop certain things to actually be able to add that onto that Keyblade. Once we're able to do that, then of course we'll be able to take on the Keyblade transformations. Now, of course, as we know, Keyblade transformations could be potentially different, like drastically different from other Keyblades. That's going to take up a lot more time to develop, and that's also going to take up a lot more of collecting to be able to find every single piece that every single different Keyblade needs to actually take on this transformation. Now, if we take that into consideration once again, and we go back to what I said before about the panel system and how it could work with Keyblade transformations, we actually look at that, and then once we connect certain pieces, we'll be able to get certain different types of Keyblade transformations for every key. And another thing that I feel like would also work with the, of course, panel system is Attraction Flow. Attraction Flow has never really gotten any real type of gameplay structure for us to really know exactly how this is going to work. Keyblade transformations, we know that you activate them and your Keyblade seems to take on different forms, like as if it extends into different parts, as we saw with Sora and how he has the gauntlets, and the gauntlet actually attaches to the Keyblade, which he then of course extends his arm and the Keyblade comes off and it takes on a different form, like such as the star one. I don't know what it's called. We don't know what it's called yet, but the one that has the star and stuff, I'll show it in the, of course, the footage going with the video, to where he actually has the star actually come off, and then the star actually transforms into, like, I think the edges or the hilts of the guns, and then you can actually shoot the guns and stuff, and that's like the shooting one. And then we also have the cannon, which is to when he actually takes the two blasters or the two guns and he puts them inside of each other and it kind of comes out as a huge gigantic weapon. Then of course you guys see what I'm saying. Pieces to Keyblade transformations is definitely, I think, the best way to explain it, and we already had a system like this with the panel system, so that could be potentially the return. Now, Attraction Flow also utilize the, of course, panel system with how different these attraction rides are actually going to be, and how will they actually wind up setting up which one you're actually going to use. Now, of course, we haven't seen how the command deck actually works, but if I'm not mistaken, we haven't actually gotten attraction, and if it has happened, I'm not trying to sit here and of course misguide you guys to try and boost up my point. I think a lot of people do think that I try and do that from time to time, but if it hasn't been confirmed yet, I do not believe attraction flows have actually been shown off inside of the command deck. Now, it may definitely be possible just due to how different they are from other things, but at the same time, they also definitely seem like something that needs to be grown out over time as well. If we look at when Sora actually winds up using the Zeus, or of course the Pegasus, I forgot what, the Chariot, the Lightning Chariot, when we see him use the Lightning Chariot, attraction flow or attraction ride, you get to see him actually transform his Keyblade into this, like, at first it transformed into like Zeus on a cloud holding a thunderbolt, and then you see like these extra pieces, like as if the Keyblade is kind of like breaking apart, if you know what I'm saying. I think that is actually a Keyblade transformation rather than an attraction ride, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is. So yeah, you actually see it break into different pieces, and then those different pieces assemble, and then Sora takes him into his arm, and then he flips it out, and then it kind of like transforms and molds into the Lightning Chariot. So as you can see, that is definitely going to be happening. So I think you will have to collect certain pieces and attach them to the panels. Now, attraction flow, since I can finally get into this one now, attraction flow I think is actually going to take time to build up, such as the ship. I think the ship, you would have to actually collect things such as, of course, the sails and stuff like that, possibly. I think that will be better than just giving you the ability outright. Of course, everything and every type of summon that we actually had for Kingdom Hearts, well, not summons, but every type of assistance that we've actually had for certain Kingdom Hearts games, especially post Kingdom Hearts 2, has always had some type of build up towards you being able to use that feature rather than you being able to use it off the bat, you know, especially to its full extent. I mean, in Dream Drop Distance, you had to get some of your Dream Eaters to a certain level before you could use them properly, or before you could use their true skills and stuff, or before they could utilize their own true skills. And of course, if you had other forms, you know, there were lesser forms of Dream Eaters before, like you would get the dragon, and I think you would also have the T-Rex and stuff like that, and then, you know, you worked your way up until you was able to get to the ultimate forms and stuff, which was the dragon and the T-Rex, and they just were complete badass compared to when you were only able to get the fucking cat, and the cat and shit was sometimes just running around and shit, and you're like, bro, you are the fucking Donald of Dream Drop Distance, bro, get the fuck out of here. So let me know what you guys think about that. Do you think the panel system will return? I think it will, because of course the panel system is mixed received, I think mostly because of the level system that they had set up inside of 358 Days Over 2. I don't think that stuck with a lot of people. I personally like the panel system, and I'm not trying to add that on to my, of course, agenda to actually push the idea of it coming, because a lot of you guys may not know, but 358 Days Over 2 is actually my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. I may be in the minority of saying that, and it may be weird that I'm saying that, but it really is my favorite Kingdom Hearts game. But let me know what you guys think. This has been your boy Mouse here. Don't forget to do a little A-class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-class, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace the heck